Good morning, students. Let us continue with the Human Genome Project, the mechanism involved in it. In previous session, I told you Human Genome Project, which is abbreviated as HGP, a mega project initiated in 1990 and expected to complete in 2003, but it takes 3 more years, and the full goals achieved which were set in the beginning by 2006. When the project was initiated, Frederick Crick was a director, and when the project is completed, Francis Collins was a director. The entire monetary support was given by US Department of Energy and National Institute of Health Science, America. Let us study the steps involved in the mechanism of Human Genome Project. A cell is selected from the human body. DNA is isolated. Now, how the DNAs are isolated, how they are extracted from the cellular mixture, that we are learning in biotechnology topic. By ultracentrifugation technique, adding enzymes to hydrolyze unwanted biomolecules, the DNA is isolated. Now, this DNA which is extracted from the human cell is very long molecule. So what they did, they used one molecular scissor. Scissor is for cutting or cleaving. Now this scissor is not a mechanical device, it is a chemical and so-called enzyme. The name of the enzyme which will cleave the DNA at restricted site is restriction endonuclease, which is abbreviated as REN. So extracted DNA is fragmented using RENs. Now there are specific RENs which will recognize specific sites. So a special kind of RENs are used to restrict the DNA into fragments. The fragments are isolated by gel electrophoresis. It is a technique where agar gel or polyacrylamide gel, which is an unstable medium, taken with the two electrodes with the two opposite charges, cathode and anode. It is known that the DNA fragments are negatively charged particles. So near the cathode ends, the DNA fragments are released in the gel. So as these fragments start moving towards the opposite poles, these fragments, when they start moving in the gel, to visualize them, we can add ethidium bromide. Now this reference we are taking in further biotechnology topic. So the fragments are isolated one by one from the gel after electrophoresis. Now these fragments are subjected for cloning. Cloning is multiplying the similar set of DNA fragment. But it is not possible to keep the DNA fragment in the Xerox machine, or we cannot keep that DNA fragment under a scanner to get multiple copies. So there is a mechanism called the splicing, where this DNA fragment is ligated to a vector. Vector is generally we call a vehicle, or you can call it as a taxi, where this DNA fragment is loaded and it will take in a host cell for its multiplication. Now host cells which will show DNA replication at the faster rate are of two types, either a fungus yeast or a bacterium E. coli. So they decided to take the vector. Vector is a DNA isolated from this host cell, and they are synthetically modified. It is known as bacterial artificial chromosome or yeast artificial chromosome. It is abbreviated as either BAC or YAC. Bacterial artificial chromosome, BAC, and YAC are yeast artificial chromosome, YAC. Now any one we can use as a gene taxi. Now consider a taxi is of a bigger size. where big fragments we can load, and taxi is of smaller size where we can load the smaller fragments. So depending upon the length, this we call polymorphism. So after cleaving, all the DNA fragments are of not equal size. So according to the length polymorphism, this I will explain later what exactly polymorphism is. So according to the size of DNA fragment, especially the length of DNA fragment, a specific vectors, these are the gene taxi or vehicles of the genes taken. Some fragments are loaded on bacterial artificial chromosome by ligation technique, and some fragments which are slightly bigger in size are ligated on yeast artificial chromosome. Now depending upon the vector, if the vector is BAC, then the host cell is bacterium, and if the DNA fragment loaded on YAC, then the host cell is the yeast. So by allowing those host cells to take these ligated DNA fragments with BAC or YAC are undergo cloning process. Now these host cells which will multiply binary fission, and you know that binary fission is nothing but a cell division. It is a mode of reproduction in these unicellular organisms. So when they undergo binary fission, the transferred ligated DNA fragment along with the vector DNA, they undergo multiplication. So several copies of the similar DNA fragments which we can get, like that, xeroxing a required page according to the demand. So here I'll explain once again. DNA is isolated, DNA is fragmented using RENs, then they are loaded on a vector either BAC or YAC, transferred into the host cells like bacteria or yeast for cloning purpose. The cloned copies of DNA fragments are isolated and sequenced using Sanger's method. Now Sanger, a well-known scientist who got Nobel Prize for the same work, he developed a radioactive dideoxyribonucleotides. Adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. These are radioactively labeled with more energy power, taken separately in a test tubes, and each cloned fragment is dipped in each test tube for hybridization. Now here artificial radioactive adenine will link with natural thymine. Artificially synthesized guanine linked with cytosine, which is natural. Like this, hybridization is done, and by a technique autoradiography, we can identify the pairing between radioactive, a synthetic DNA, and the natural radioactive DNA nucleotide. So by this we can count the number of adenine, number of guanine, number of cytosine, number of thymine. So thus the ratios are obtained, and this data which is obtained after sequencing each fragment is given to the bioinformatics people to prepare a software. Thus one by one each chromosome was sequenced. And thus at the end of the project, the approaches or the features they have displayed. Feature number 1, it carry 5 marks weightage. The question comes, explain the features of Human Genome Project. First feature, human genome contains approximately 3174.3 billion base pairs. Average gene consisting of 3000 bases. Bases are nitrogenous bases. A largest gene coding for a dystrophin, so it is called dystrophin gene, contain 2.4 billion base pairs. In human genome, total genes present are approximately 30,000. The first chromosome which was sequenced carrying maximum genes with maximum base pairs, and the least genes available on chromosome Y, which shows masculine features with 231 genes. Like this, one by one you can write these features. Feature number 1, total bases in human genome. Feature number 2, total genes in human genome. Feature number 3, average nucleotides in a gene. Feature number 4, largest gene dystrophin with 2.4 billion base pairs. The first chromosome sequence was chromosome 1 with the number of genes. The least genes 231 available on Y chromosome. This gives you a 5 marks weightage. At the end of Human Genome Project, they were analyzed that 2% of the genes are in the form of coding sequences and almost 98% genes are in the form of non-coding sequences which are available in the form of repetitive sequences. So the bulk of the DNA which is coding for the proteins, okay, these are called exons, and the remaining portion we call it as introns. Thus, we have completed the application Human Genome Project, a mega project initiated by US Department of Energy, NIH of America. Estimated cost was $9 billion. The goals which were set to initiate the project was to identify the total chromosomes, to see the karyotype, to identify loci of all genes, to extract the DNA, to sequence the DNA, to introduce this entire information in the form of database. The tools and techniques are made available to change the data whenever there is a requirement, and to address social, ethical and legal issues the committee set. Two methodologies are adopted here. One is to know the coding sequences under EST, expressed sequence tag, and second to know even the non-coding sequences by sequence annotations. By following these two approaches or methodology, I explained the mechanism, then I explained the features, and lastly, if we know this entire knowledge of human genome, we can find out the errors. We can replace the defective gene. We can remove the defective gene so that the genetic disorder cannot be inherited. With this, I will complete today's session. Thank you very much.